Hello and welcome. Tonight on the show, us three jerks have our anchor down in World Harbor's Jamaican-style jerk, sauce, and marinade. They say it's sweet and spicy. Why don't you stay tuned and find out with us? We are so excited to have you. This is Sauce Spoken.
And we're back. We are Sauce Spoken. We're the podcast detailing your favorite sauces, dips, and condiments. My name's Adam, and I'll be your host, and I'm joined here this week by my co-host, Tori.
Wow, hey, slow it down over there, mister. You're really flying. My name is Tori, and this is Sauce Spoken. And we are delighted to have you, at least speaking for myself. I'm certain speaking for these dudes also. And to my right, he can be found anywhere fine co-hosts are found. Thankfully, we found him right here. His name is E.
A man's man pickup artist.
Pickup artist. Yeah, I'm not putting myself out there for any kind of co-hosting positions at all. I do not want to be on any other podcast. This one keeps me busy enough. Thanks, Tori.
Yeah.
So
trying to sell me like I'm some great co-host.
Hard knock life, Tori. You gotta sometimes, you have those show notes every week. You know, you gotta go to sleep. You fall asleep listening to the show. It's just so much work. Just hours and hours and hours of pouring over the show to get the notes. You wake up the next day.
I give sympathy for every listener out there who actually puts up with us.
57-minute long show. It takes up your entire day to pull notes from. It's a gigantic commitment. So you basically gotta write off the better part of 5 or 6 days out of a week.
Today I had a contractor come in right in the middle of it while I was listening, and that was ideal. That was like the perfect. I think I should break every episode into two, because really one go of it is
you're
just
allowed
too
to do that. You can break it into 10 segments if you want. There's a pause button for a reason.
I don't think you're that bad.
And now it's time to catch up with the hosts.
Time to catch up.
Eric, aside from bitching about your commitment to the podcast and dealing with contractors today at work, how's your week?
Aside from it's only Tuesday, so let's see. Other than that,
only Tuesday.
What else did I do?
You had an eventful weekend. There's enough to talk about. We are recording a little bit earlier in advance than we usually do. By your request, I may remind you.
Well, it's only a Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't
specifically requested it.
I didn't want to record on Thursday since that is my birthday. So yes, I have hopefully some good plans coming up this Thursday. I'm not entirely sure it's going to actually happen.
You already had one birthday, and then you got a second birthday. Now this is your third birthday. So
yes.
Birthday week.
Got to hang out with you guys on Friday. We went to Penn Brewery and had ourselves a great little dinner and celebration. It was good.
Some really good beer cheese. The kind that your wife, Tori, likes. Amy, the type that Amy likes, because it was not made with nacho cheese. It was type that was clearly made with a roux and real cheese.
Nice.
And that was on her, not schnitzel. What was that she had?
The case spatzel.
Spatzel. Yes.
Pretzels that I ordered?
Oh, the pretzels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also her spatzel.
Oops. Oopsies.
And you even paid for my meal there, Adam, which I much appreciate.
What a gentleman.
There you go.
Well, you had an expensive date coming up the next day, so I had to save you a little bit of cash for that.
Comp him on his birthday.
I did have a date on Saturday, yes.
You found a cheaper place to go, luckily.
And I did find a cheaper place that wasn't downtown. Had to make last minute changes because there was...
That sounds really expensive. Can we go somewhere else? I have a coupon.
It's expired.
No, but there was the Pittsburgh Marathon downtown, and
oh yeah, that's a hassle.
That was a huge hassle.
It is a hassle.
So, and there was also prom weekend and Pitt graduation. So yes, lots happening downtown Pittsburgh. So very busy.
Wow, it's really early for prom.
It seemed a little early. I thought so too. But
we're gonna get onto this in a later section of the show. But you were giving us some dating advice earlier. You've gone on one successful date now, so you're giving us dating advice.
I was not giving you dating advice.
He's an ace.
You're giving us life advice based on this date. So,
wow, life advice.
You didn't even know you were doing that, did you?
And you were asking, asking if when you go on a second date this Thursday for your birthday, if it would be acceptable to bust out the coupon book. To which Tori and I advised maybe kick it out the third date for a coupon book.
Well, given the circumstance, I think our boy is okay.
Yes, after you explain that you're going to redeem a free birthday entree, that is borderline acceptable. I do think that can definitely come off wrong even still, but that's not the kind of girl you want to attract. So. Right,
exactly, yeah. And I mean, depending on this gal, if she's frugal, and she very well may be, I don't know, but I'd appreciate it.
I think she's frugal. I mean, we've only been on one date. I really, but we talk.
Yeah.
I've been talking, so.
And you're in love.
I'm delighted to see this.
Oh my God.
You are going to propose. You're one of those people that proposes on the third day, like, I know what I want, guys. This is it. It's everything I hoped and dreamed of my entire life.
If that's what it is, dog, fucking go nuts.
No, I don't think that's what it is, but maybe. Hey, keep the possibility out.
There you go. Keep it open.
Is this The Love Boat by Adam?
Love Boat.
This is just Adam being annoying.
No, it's Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Oh, thank you for defining that.
How's your week this week, Tori?
Oh, pretty good.
Great. On to my week.
I suppose you want details, huh?
If you feel inclined, if you want to pass the torch, by all means, that's acceptable too.
Well, I know I mentioned, I may have mentioned this before, playing a new video game.
Yes.
The Aftermath.
Yes.
Surviving the Aftermath.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore it. I think it's terrific.
Which that occurs after all the good Christians have been raptured and the sinners left on earth.
That's
Is that
correct.
okay?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Right.
Yeah, that tracks.
That's right. So yeah, that's really good. And I've been doing a lot of work outside, which is nice. Getting the front yard prepped and whatnot for some more work. So that's cool.
Was that what, Sunday? Was nice enough Sunday to actually be outside?
The weather has been tolerable lately.
It was Saturday.
I think it was also decent Sunday though, wasn't it? No, it rained.
It was
Sunday.
pretty wet.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Saturday was decent.
Saturday was good. Did a little bit of painting, a little bit of planning, a number of things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Saturday I had the HOA meeting. I've been prepping forever and ever. I already forgot.
Very important. Dear to your heart. Something that's
right.
really in line with your goals for life. It's something that matters to you. You need to do.
It does have to happen.
The HOA.
You don't have to be a part of it.
Well, I mean, you'd be kind of foolish not to. You're putting money essentially into like forced savings for something that goes into the property that you purchased, which is I find really interesting when Amy goes off on me at work because she's
not only are you going to give them money, but you're also going to
HOA?
Work for free for them.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
Amy's
sense.
Amy's like acting as though it's like rent. Like it just goes nowhere. Like I'm just paying the money off to nothing. I'm like, well, it goes back into the property that I own. It's not nothing.
Well, I mean, there's nothing assigned to it when it's raised. I mean, you just collect it initially, and then it's managed by people who are probably incompetent.
I was waiting for that.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's be honest here. Like, none of those people are certified public accountants. Like, they're just going. They're not.
Or financial.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They're not fiduciaries. Yeah. Yeah. She's not totally wrong, but you're right. It does allegedly go back. Without any accounting being done, it goes allegedly go back into portions of your property or shared property. Yes,
right. Getting 1/3%
it's not like it
interest.
Directly goes back into buying you a new kitchen or something like that. But it's like it may blacktop your driveway. Yes,
or do a roof job, or any other.
Does that pay for the snow removal out of that slush fund that you have there?
Yep, and that's why it's important to pay attention. So to make sure that no one is, skimming money out of the
a little HOA embezzlement.
Right.
I like it. I like that.
That'd be wrong. So
that would be wrong.
That would be wrong.
That is wrong.
That is Eric's second talent that he's picked up recently, is determining which things are right and wrong objectively.
I thought you were going to say he's an embezzler.
Yeah, he's embezzling money. That's how he's paying his taxes. He's short on. It'll all work its way out somehow.
Oh, that's his new skill. Racketeering.
Eric hasn't managed to put together a budget for his own personal finances, but he'd like to be involved with the budgets of the entire condo. So,
at least keep an eye on
I think I'm qualified.
The E-tax.
I'm financing board games. We meant to touch on it last week, and I forgot. You're financing board games, and you feel qualified to manage the condos.
Actually, it wasn't even board games. It was financed. What you specifically asked me about was the pay later, PayPal's pay later, or whatever. Anything over $100, you get like 6 months.
I didn't ask you about anything specific. You were talking about financing board games, so.
And it was all for just the sleeves, to sleeve board games.
Oh my!
That's what was over $100.
This is an intervention. This episode is an intervention.
Part of my soul just left my body. I felt it. I felt it leave and float into the air.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Sleeve finance. Who's your sleeve guy, Tori?
Play that back. I have to hear that again to make sure I'm not going crazy.
So, actually, I was not actually financing board games, Adam. I was financing sleeves for the board games.
Just the components.
They have
just
now
the components.
200
I'm going to give you a big kiss.
Listen to me, Tori. They have 284-month interest-free financing, so I could only pay $43 a month for the sleeves. It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime supply of sleeves. They have 4 different sizes.
Stop it. Stop it.
The four.
Stop.
Woof. Well, as listeners know about me, you are what you eat. And this episode is not going to be any different because, Tori, you brought a sauce for us here, which I think is indicative of my general disposition. So without any further ado, why don't you lead the listeners off with what we're going to be trying here tonight?
Goodness. Yeah, right. Boy, tonight we have more than one jerk in the house. Tonight we have World Harbor's Jamaican style jerk sauce to accompany our other jerk, Adam. So here we have it. I got it from the supermarket maybe about an hour or so prior to recording just here tonight. So the freshness is guaranteed.
Fresh off the vine.
Yeah, off the vine, baby.
Unless it's already expired on the shelf.
We haven't. What's the expiration date? We haven't investigated any expiration dates recently.
Oh, we are. Oh, goodness. My eyes sort of skipped a beat there. I thought it said February of 21. I was going to scream. But it's February 22nd of 23. So we have another good year in us.
Nice.
Yeah, so there you have it. I got it from the grocery store, the sauce aisle, believe it or not.
I do.
At my local grocery store. And there you go.
Cool. Well, without further ado, Eric, would you like to go ahead and give us a little visual description of the outside of the container that we're looking at tonight there?
Sure, and sticking with our tradition here, we have... Actually, this is a very non-traditional bottle.
It is.
This is a square with rounded corners.
Have you seen those, aloe vera water bottle things? Like the bottles of water that have aloe vera in them? Or like a Fiji bottle of water that's like Fiji. Smaller?
Yeah.
They're pretty rectangular or square even.
Yes.
Yeah, mess with the proportions a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, this is only about 2 inches by 2 inches by maybe, 6-7 inches tall, probably 7. And,
it's a hefty 7 inches, I think.
I was expecting a really dirty joke there.
Comes up...
I'm glad that moment passed.
Most of the way of the bottle, I'd say 90%, and then it tapers in uniformly all four sides start to lean in, sort of kind of like a tower.
An obelisk.
Or an obelisk. Very good.
How about that?
Yeah, kind of.
But then it has a bright yellow cap, screws on, plastic, opens up to 1 1/4 inch diameter opening.
Shockingly large opening, as we discovered.
Shockingly large. It's
as my pants can attest.
Oh, jeez, there's the jokes.
I spilled sauce on my pants. I spilled marinara. Earlier for dinner, I spilled some Newman's Own marinara sauce on my pants and my shirt. I wore those clothes here and then spilled even more of this jerk sauce onto them.
All right, so you're a messy jerk to boot.
And then I jerked off with some paper towels to get it off my pants.
Of course you did.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a clear bottle with a label on 3 sides. The back of it is completely clear, so you can know when you're to get more. Of course, you can also tell just by the very edges of it. It's a very liquidy substance. Oh, I'm getting into the inside of it. Anyway, so the outside, the sticker... It says World Harbor's on it, authentic flavor.
It looks fucking stupid.
We're their only follower on Instagram, by the way.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
I have a little insight into that, I think, but it is bizarre.
It's a little bizarre. It's got I think what's supposed to be like a wooden tabletop.
I don't like the
grain
label.
on it.
The label is not befitting the sauce inside.
It looks kind of strange, and it has like a photograph laying on top of this table that shows some, I guess, Jamaican jerk cooked chicken.
It looks like a great value bottle from the early 2000s or something, I don't know.
Styling's a little weird. It says Jamaican style jerk, sauce and marinade, sweet and spicy.
It looks like something that'd be produced by the Olive Garden, the label.
Let me get tighter in there.
Looks like generic Olive Garden labeling.
Yeah, I'll give you that for sure. Yeah. I don't even think the food is all that. This doesn't scream Jamaican to me.
No. It looks like boneless chicken wings, maybe? I mean, it doesn't even, or maybe bone in. I don't know. You can't tell. There's clearly burnt, crispy spots on it, but then it's also this really bright red, which doesn't match the color of the sauce either. So I don't know if this, I don't even think the picture has the sauce that that is supposed to be advertising.
The sauce, I don't know. The label is not my favorite. I will say that. There's several issues. They look shitty.
Looks like it has cinnamon sticks and then a pile of poop on it. I don't know what. It does. I don't know what. Looks like scat. Just right there on the table.
What? He's a scat man. Beat it up, bop, bop, beat up, up.
When you're walking in the yard, and you nearly step in a pile of rabbit turds.
Scat.
It looks very much like that. Scat.
I'm not sure I've used that vocabulary.
Scat. Jesus.
I'm looking questionably at you over my glasses.
Let me think.
Maybe the jerkness of Adam is rubbing off onto me here.
Scat.
At the bottom of it says marinade. It says, and it has like a pouch there, which is okay. I get it. That makes sense. And then it says cooking, which it shows a skillet and a spatula. Again, makes sense. Then it shows dipping, which if you get in real tight, you can actually make out that it's like a fork stabbed into some food and dipped in there. So I guess those all make sense.
There's a whole panel you're missing, E.
I want to borrow that panel for a second. The one with the problematic language on it.
Yes.
So,
I didn't even get there.
It's a Jamaican. Yeah, I want to steal those because I read this earlier, so I already spoiled a little bit. Oh, that is a pile of scat. It looks like a pine cone.
Oh my goodness!
It looks like a bear ate a pine cone and then
shit it out,
and then wiped his ass with some cinnamon sticks.
Scatted.
Scatted. It says on the side,
scattered.
Your guests will be jamming with the unique marinade that blends sweet and spicy flavors. Bring Jamaica's most famous export to your dinner table tonight, which is problematic to say the least. This is clearly not coming straight from Jamaica. This is not like the Pica Peppa Co. sauce where it's coming straight from Jamaica. I think that's a little problematic if they want to do the jammin' Jamaican horse shit from a sauce which is made by, I think, like a Chinese company. So, but I'll let you continue on with the rest of the description there.
World Harbors. They're a citizen of the world and all their harbors.
It's owned by a parent company, which I discovered, and is also on the side of the bottle.
Oh.
And this is something I have maybe a little bit, maybe not insight quite, but like a hypothesis maybe I'd like to posit.
My dude's hypothesis.
Miscan or whatever?
Yeah. Miscat, I believe. Scat is what it is. Miscat.
Bringing flavor to life. Apparently, is their logo. Their slogan.
I think
slogan.
That's what you do, Eric. If you had a logo, it'd be a slogo. So I think that this is a common thing that happens in like China, where a lot of companies will have like a ton of sub brands under them. I don't know why places do that, but like it seems like in America. I mean, it happens in America too. But I think that like I think they're more like Chinese companies are more quick to just like pump out 1,000 sub brands without any like other marketing or any history or something like that. Whereas American companies are more likely to purchase other established brands and put them under their umbrella. You know, vis-a-vis like all the beverage companies that are under Coke or under Pepsi. You know, even if they have no affiliation with that formally. So
I suppose that tracks. That makes sense. I haven't really considered it that much, but
because I think if you think of like
right,
for example, a fine quality product like Barks Root Beer. You know, you can tell that like has its own identity separate from Coca-Cola Co. that owns them, you know, versus like if Coca-Cola came out with a new beverage under a new brand, that would be kind of like more like what these companies do. Like if Coca-Cola came out with a World Harbor Jamaican Jerk Cola, you know, that's would be the equivalent. So
a spicy cola
works the opposite way, I think. That's just my personal take on it. But without any further ado, I'm going to give us a little visual description on the sauce itself that we're looking at. Now, this is interesting because I will say, as someone that has consumed pretty authentic Jamaican jerk before and has also made their own, the sauce looks the part. It's definitely a little bit on the runny side, which tracks, and it looks kind of like a reddish barbecue sauce, but thinner, I would say. Thinned out a little bit.
It's thin. It's fast.
And then as you look, and that's in the bottle, as you look in the clear glass bowls that Eric got us here tonight, you know, it is a very translucent, like I can almost see Tori's outline looking through it. Looking at the sauce itself, you can tell that there is a extensive amount of very fine brown flakes and a couple of different shades of brown, as well as some bigger flecks, some red, some green, various shapes and sizes, some things which are definitely like pepper seeds. And a pretty good healthy mix of stuff floating around in there. I do like the aesthetic it's given off as far as that is concerned. But yeah, other than that, I would say it has in the outside of the jar in the cup, it looks almost more like a maple syrup type consistency.
Yeah,
I'd say it definitely looks like a maple syrup on the inside of the jar, just with a lot of clearly a lot of seasonings in it.
And the translucency level of it.
Yeah, that's what I say. It looks like that part to me definitely looks like a maple syrup, which is kind of interesting. Maybe ties in a little bit later to some of the tasting notes, but yeah, definitely I like the appearance considerably. I like the appearance of the sauce considerably in contrast particularly to the label, which I do not care for.
It clings well, too.
Yeah, once you get it thinned out, it does cling well.
It does cling. You can thoroughly coat the inside of the little cups that Eric gave us, since we're out of the sippy cups that they normally give us. So
go to the damn dollar store and get more.
Yeah, right. We have been out for a hot minute now. We've been trying things that didn't require them. Like, we've been trying a lot of spreads and stuff lately, so we haven't needed them.
Good point. That's true.
Because we have been out for a hot minute, so they'll have to put them on our list to get some more at some point. Without any further ado, it's time to get on to our initial tasting notes. Eric, do you want to lead us off with this?
I could do that, I suppose. It's
Why do you sound so hesitant?
I don't know, because it's kind of a weird sauce. There's a lot going on, and yet there's not enough. I don't know. That was probably my initial take. Pungent. It hits you in the nose. When you taste it, it hits you on the flavor sensors. It's extremely sweet, cloyingly so, almost.
No way.
Then, and I know I took like a little cleaning the edge of the bottle and took a little droplet right into my mouth initially.
Right.
And it I kind of breathed in too quickly, and the spices hit the back of my throat, and I was coughing on it.
Ooh.
But then when I tried it with the chicken nuggets, I didn't really detect, any heat at all.
Bears mentioning we are back to trying back on the Tyson Dino Nuggets.
Yeah.
We are, yes.
Which were perfectly cooked tonight, I will say. They were
you did a real
spectacular golden brown.
Good job.
Nice crunch, but still a delicate give on the interior.
Man.
It was nice that Tori gave me the reminder, and then of course, he gave me the reminder half hour beforehand.
Oh,
which I normally
it was
put him in
an hour and a half beforehand.
Yeah, I was leaving the store when I texted you, and then after I sent it, I was like, "Oh, that's a little early." But he's hit to the groove at
way
6:30.
Early for something that takes 10 minutes to cook.
Right? Yeah.
But just so you knew.
Then I kept thinking "Oh, I need to get to it." So it was on my mind. Yeah, I probably would have, most likely.
It was on your mind. You had HOA stuff to do.
I did.
Very important to his life goals here.
Pretty important, as I keep saying. Anyways, yeah, then the flavor, my
point was not that it doesn't need to be done at all. My point was that you don't need to do it, and it is counter to the goals that you personally have set for yourself.
Gotcha.
And you know that, and you're being a shyster because you know that we've talked about this before, so you know, and you think you're getting away with something for the listeners, and you're not. Let's sit here and call your ass out about it.
There's a whole story behind this that the listeners don't even need to know about.
It's been
I don't
brought
need
up
to
before
explain
on
it
the
to
show.
you.
It's been brought up on the show before. The important thing is that you're wrong. If you were a drum, you would be a Rongo Bongo.
Wow.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Initial tasting notes is apple cider vinegar, sugar. Apparently there's some spices in there. You see the spices. I don't know. Maybe as a marinade it would work better for me. But yeah, that was my initial tasting notes. Apple cider vinegar and some sugar. Maybe a little bit garlic. I don't know. Has a real interesting smell to it.
I'll go next.
Which is, again, sharp, pungent, vinegary. Makes your nose hairs curl. All right, go ahead, Adam.
Thanks,
Give us
Eric.
your two cents. We were dying to hear.
I'm sensing sarcasm coming from you.
No, you don't think.
Me, an empath. Sensing sarcasm. Yeah, so for me, I definitely agree with you. It is painfully sweet. Not unpleasant, but also not what I typically consider to be Jamaican jerk, which really, we're talking about this more later in the ratings portion of the show. But that's my biggest gripe with this sauce, is that it's really not Jamaican jerk. It has some of the key elements that I typically consider to be common in Jamaican jerk. Like, it's got that cinnamon, nutmeg, whatever seasoning in it. It's got a little bit of the heat. It's got some of the other earthy flavors going on in there. The thing that I don't think normally happens as much in Jamaican jerk is this, syrupy-like consistency and flavor. I don't think Jamaican jerk typically has anywhere nearly this amount of sweetness. It's typically much, much more considerably spicier and less sweet. This is almost, to be quite honest, and I know normally we say this in a fashion to tease our friend Eric, but
we never do that.
In all seriousness, I legitimately feel that the sauce is much more indicative to a General Tso's sauce with maybe a little bit of cinnamon in it. That's what it tastes like to me, and that's my biggest gripe that I wanted to save for the show here, is that it's not Jamaican jerk. I like it, but it's General Tso's sauce. It's got that similar level. It's actually got more heat than I think you get in a lot of, and this is a controversial subject, but it's got more heat than I think you get in a lot of General Tso's from a Chinese restaurant.
Let's fire it up, babe. Come on.
But yeah, it's quite pleasant. I do like it. It is sweet. It is got some of those earthy notes, and it has got a fair amount of heat. But it's, like I said, just to me, it's missing the mark on Jamaican jerk, which I think stems from that questionable heritage about where it's coming from. So, what about you, Tori?
I think this tastes and smells like apples and cinnamon, like hot apples and cinnamon.
Nice.
I just can't get over it. And I think E said there's a lot going on. There's a lot of nothing going on.
A lot of nothing, yeah.
It seems like we have a brown sauce, and it's fast and it's runny, and you get a lot in your bowl. And looking at it, boy, it is busy. I mean, you nailed it. There's all shapes, sizes, big, small. I got a stem floating around in here. What looks like a stem, red and green and brown.
It's actually a piece of a mouse.
I mean, there's everything going on, and I wouldn't consider this a sauce so much as I would consider it a palate cleanser. It almost seems as if take a schlick with your finger and see how long it takes for that flavor to vanish. I mean, it goes away entirely. There's no remnant of it. There's not even any heat to it, I don't think. I mean, to call that a Jamaican jerk, I think is sad. I didn't get any heat from it at all, and I've been told that I'm sensitive to that type of thing. Yeah, I thought it was sweet, but I don't know. I'm not too sensitive to sweetness. I can go full Wilford Brimley diabetic and still not bitch about it being too sweet. So that doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, to that end, I disagree with you guys. I don't think it was cloyingly, but yeah, I'm sure we'll get to this in the ratings portion of the show. But boy, what a stinker! What a letdown!
Really? Okay, that's interesting because So first of all, I do want to say, as far as the sweetness goes, I am certain, without looking at the ingredients, that high fructose corn syrup is at least the second ingredient.
There's no question, of course.
Absolutely.
Of that, I am certain. I said before the show, this might be the first of its kind for me on the show, and I don't want to spoil my rating at all, but the reason it's going to be the first of a kind for me is that I don't like the label. I don't think this is Jamaican jerk sauce. Like, I think it is wrong. It has some elements there, but clearly this is made by someone who has never had, like, good, authentic Jamaican jerk and has no concept of what they're even trying to replicate. Maybe they went overboard in trying to, like, tone it down for an American palate, which is also, somewhat of a tone-deaf move. Mm-hmm. But we've seen that before with some other companies. I think it's fair to say that may be what has occurred here. But that being said, I actually really do like this. I would definitely have a lot more of this on, like, some fried chicken type articles. I just don't, I wouldn't call it Jamaican jerk. I would call it quite a decent, like, Chinese tasting with some earthy notes in it. But
apple and cinnamon. I mean, even that, like, second, like, lick there with my finger. Yeah, it's really weird. It's not Jamaican
right.
jerk.
It does smell like almost like a cinnamony apple pie,
Yeah.
And I think that Jamaican jerk does have a lot of cinnamon in it. It does have a lot of, like, those earthier spices. So that makes sense to me. It's just the quantity and the ratios and stuff are totally off on this.
Yeah, it's just not jiving with me, man.
Yeah, me neither.
I know that there is a heavy variation in Jamaican jerk between what people have made, and I've had people from Jamaica make it, so I have a fair idea of what it's supposed to be like. And like I said, the spices aren't wrong. They're just in way too low of a percentage compared to the sweetness and the other notes going on there.
Too spoiled by Big Shot Bob's Jamaican jerk wings.
Yeah.
They are so good.
They are good.
I don't think this would work well as a marinade either, I gotta say it.
Right. Oh, I agree.
I almost think it's, like you said, the flavor is gone too quickly. I don't think it would last well. But yeah, no, I think this is, like I said, this Mizcon, we'll get to the website here in a second, but yeah, I just think that this is like a good sauce, poor interpretation, definitely hacky labeling. The label is offensive, actually. I don't like it at all. Aside from looking like a turd. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be like some kind of allspice thing or something? I don't know. It certainly looks like a turd, though. Like a round bear turd.
God, I have no idea. Could it be coffee beans-ish looking?
No, it's like, I don't know if it's allspice or it's supposed to be nutmeg or something like that, but it's one of those things.
Okay. I will take your word for it.
I'm sure we can look up allspice and that shit, but I don't think we need to. It is one of those, I will tell you.
See, even on the computer, there's like more detail and texture in that photo than there is like literally right in front of me.
It looks better on the computer than it does in person. It's still a shitty label either way, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
Now, it does bear mentioning I had a really hard time trying to find the website for this because I was searching for World Harbor, and, that doesn't come up under anything. The first thing that popped up was Amazon. The second thing that popped up was Walmart, and it was much smaller retails after that. Finally, I was able to find the parent company, and when you get onto their website, it does list this sauce. All it tells you are the same offensive, problematic language on the side with jamming with Jamaica. It's got some quick and easy tips. Oh, for fuck's sake. It says marinate sirloin tips or chicken drumsticks for 2 days.
2 days.
And grill slowly over low heat. Add to ground beef or turkey to give your burgers a kick. Fresh on meat while grilling, basting frequently, lightly saute in with scallions after cooking shrimp until pink. I think it would be good on some of those things.
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days seems strange. I've never heard, like, a lot of marinades, they say, like, 2 hours is sufficient, or, like, overnight, not 2 days, usually. Which I think does kind of tie into the key point there. Like, it's kind of a weak sauce. I don't think it would make a great marinade.
Pretty weak. And I noticed that all their tips are with cooking, so maybe it's not best for dipping.
It does say sauce and marinade on it.
Oh, it says dipping right on it.
Yeah, I do think that this is definitely for dipping. Like I said, I think it worked really well with the chicken nuggets. I liked it, personally, on chicken nuggets, to be quite frank. They do have some other world market foods on here. We'll do our typical rapid-fire style. Tori, you want to hit the first one?
Maine's own lemon pepper and garlic.
Eric?
Asian-inspired sriracha.
Tori?
Asian-style sweet chili.
Eric?
Maui mountain teriyaki.
Tori?
Maui Mountain sweet and sour.
All right, so it's got a variety of other sauces there. Now, going back to the Miscon food thing, they've got a whole variety of different brands, too.
Ragu?
Apparently.
Oh, yeah, Ragu.
Wow.
So apparently this Miscon food owns, we'll do a rapid fire for this, too. Tori, hit us.
Ragu, our friends at Ragu.
Eric?
Bertolli.
They've got Holland House. Eric? Or Tori?
Oh, damn it. Angostura aromatic bitters.
I think it's Angostura.
Oh, damn.
That's the same thing you make with old fashions.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. You never heard? That's bitters.
Well, I've never really.
I drink beer.
That is like the brand of bitters.
Huh.
Eric?
Nakano?
And then obviously the Miscan that we already talked about. Okay, well here's an easy one for you, Tor.
Here we go. We like this. Nice big bold text. Asian products. You can use your imagination.
Eric?
Nature's Intent.
They've got Baringo Vineyards, and then the World Harbors that we already talked about.
Finally wrapping it up with World Harbors.
That's really interesting. That makes me think a little differently about this, knowing that they own Ragu and Bertolli and Angostura particularly, because like Ragu I think is like mediocre pasta sauce,
It's your lower end one for sure.
It's like your craft Italian dressing of pasta sauce, and I think Bertolli kind of fits in the same lineup.
Now, but isn't Bertolli? They make pasta, right? It's like a pasta, dried pasta.
They also make sauce too.
Oh, okay.
I think you're thinking of Barilla.
Oh, maybe I am.
Yeah, Bertolli is pasta sauce, which tracks with Ragu.
Gotcha. And
Angostura, that is, to me, that's interesting because that is like the primo top shelf bitters. Like those are the ones. Yeah, I mean they're not the nicest ones, but those are the ones that you typically would use for most drinks. So I think that is an interesting lineup. It's nice to have some context with this conversation because up until this point, I really had no concept of who these people were. So
nice,
kind of interesting.
Well, they know us because we are their only Instagram follower.
That's kind of what makes me think that maybe this is one of those like trial run things. Like they just make a new brand for any type they want to introduce a new product,
Perhaps. Yeah.
Which, I don't know if this is something you guys have heard about. This was a COVID creation that I think probably not a lot of listeners are aware of, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware of. There's a recent trend where restaurants will actually make ghost restaurants, and they'll post them on like DoorDash and places like that. They'll be delivery only. And you'll just see a restaurant name pop up that you've never seen before, and you're like, oh, new restaurant. I'll try their wings, or I'll try their pizza. And it's actually another place like Applebee's trying out new products, or like Chuck E. Cheese was doing like a trendy hipster pizza restaurant for a while because they didn't have their in-store patrons that they normally would. So they transitioned to just like making another pseudo, LLC corporation to run these new products through to pass them off onto people to still get some income.
That's wild.
I think that's something.
Sounds almost like almost like shady. It sounds like
it's extremely shady. Yeah, they have no physical locations. They totally obfuscate their like identity. They intentionally make it so you don't know who like the holding company or parent company is. And if they're not successful, they just close that company down and start a new one. No loss.
But all the food would be still made in the greasy Chuck E. Cheese up the road.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. So
it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, pretty strange shit, I think.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys had ever seen anything like that. I don't typically do delivery personally, so I don't see that type of thing because...
Right, now neither do I.
It's not like you can just go on Google Maps and find them because, like I said, there's no physical location.
Huh, how about that?
So, yeah, pretty weird. But I know, like, a lot of, like, chainy places were doing that.
Applebee's sucks so bad.
Oh, I hate Applebee's.
Yeah, especially when you consider like the products they're not even confident enough about to list on an Applebee's website is what they're pawning off on you.
It's like the super subpar, real questionable stuff.
Like, I think it was like, I think Applebee's, if I read this correctly, it was like Applebee's was testing like new wing flavors, you know?
Oh, wow.
So they didn't have like your standard like buffalo. They had like, you know, I don't know, fucking Jolly Rancher, fucking, you know, chicken wings or some shit.
Ew.
That was not actual flavor.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You get the concept.
Right.
So
you buy them through DoorDash or some other.
Yeah, exactly. Delivery only, you know, no recourse if anything goes wrong. It's not like you can drive them back to the restaurant, you know, and ask for a refund because it doesn't exist.
That's wacky.
Yeah, so weird shit. But yeah, I think it's time now for Eric's favorite segment of the show, the ingredients.
You could have pulled them back up on the website there. You had the, like, size 20 font, but sure, I can read them off the bottle too. All right, we have water, high fructose corn syrup. You were right about the
number two.
Shocking. Yep. Distilled vinegar, so not apple cider. I guess my taste buds are off there. Soy sauce.
You always insist on calling out the specific vinegar.
I do. I try to. I like to think I know something after 2 years, and I really don't. Just hang up the hat. Molasses, modified food starch, contains 2% or less of apple juice concentrate, citric acid, dried garlic, natural flavors, potassium sorbate, and sodium benzate, raspberry juice concentrate, and sea salt recipes, and sea salt, spices, xanthan gum.
Bang bang.
Contains soy and wheat. Yeah, that's, I don't know, even the ingredients are just like, oof.
The ingredients sound like what is in Jamaican jerk traditionally. Like, that's not ringing any alarm bells.
Corn syrup? Really?
Well,
yeah.
Obviously not that specifically, Eric, but like maybe brown sugar instead or something like that.
Right.
So that's not throwing off any major alarm bells.
No apples in there.
Raspberry juice is interesting.
Apple juice.
Apple juice is kind of interesting, but maybe, sure, I guess it could be for some sort of fruit note in your Jamaican jerk. I mean, we really like that pick a pepper sauce.
Yeah. Pick a pepper.
Is it pepper? I forget.
No, you're right. Pick a pepper.
Okay.
I was making fun of you for saying it with pick a pepper.
And that one had all kinds of fruit in it. But it was done really well. Like, it just tasted so
really well.
It had a lot more flavor, too. It wasn't sugar. This is like just sugar water with some seasonings in it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You nailed it. There you go. Forewarning to our listeners.
Like I said, isn't bad.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't think it's bad. But you guys make up your own mind, obviously. I do think it bears mentioning that we should give a little shout out to a little treat that Tori mentioned in a previous episode, and Tori brought for us here tonight to try, which is the dill pickle salt.
Yeah.
You want to give us a little read on that label really quick here? We won't dwell on this too long.
Sure.
But we did try it, so it bears mentioning.
Yeah, right. This is the pinch jar I was talking about, 1.1 ounces, and it contains hand-mixed Trapani Sicilian sea salt, dill, garlic, onion, citric acid, and spices on the ingredients list. And I don't know, I really like it.
Now, where is this from again? Tell listeners.
This is from the Steel City Salt Company. This particular one I got in Millville, and they have another location, I believe, in downtown, on the Strip, possibly.
Cool. Yeah, you put it on the plate, and it is kind of an interesting little texture. You can definitely see the pieces of dill in there and also the salt. It's good. We dipped our fingies in. I think it would be great on like a potato chip or some other like potato product.
Ooh.
You mentioned it also on popcorn.
Popped corn, absolutely.
I think those would all be great applications. But yeah, I liked it a lot. And I would definitely,
I liked it. I thought it was good. And I really liked their website. And I put it in the show notes back on the episode when we talked about it. And it was a really interesting store and lots of very interesting flavored salts you can get there. So
I think it would be a spin.
Yeah, I think it would be a good gift for like someone who's hard to shop for. You know what I mean? Like, I think food is always a winner, and especially something like this where it's like it's going to sit on the shelf for a little while, and you just take a little pinch out of your pinch jar. But, yeah.
Food is always a winner. That's an interesting statement.
Why do you say it? Why?
I just immediately thought of someone who always got smoked salmon for Christmas. Who hates smoked salmon. I think food's a winner if you know the person you're buying for.
Yeah, no, that's my point. Like, I think, like, food and alcohol, as long as you know the person likes that type of food and that type of alcohol, I think those are always like gimmies,
Sure. I mean, it can be, absolutely can be a good gift. It's just, you really gotta know the person you're shopping for.
Yeah, you have to at least like some semblance, or get them something different. So some are winners and some are losers, but
right.
But yeah, with all that being said, I think it's time we got on to the ratings portion of the show.
All right,
Eric, you want to go ahead and lead us off with your rating of this?
Sure.
Go Nazi.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold back. Because I didn't like it. I think it's pretty evident that I didn't really care for it. It just it should have been more than it was. And like you said, the flavor just leaves so quickly. And what little flavor there is, it's mostly just, it's, as Adam said, it's sugar water. So yeah, by that notion, I'm going to give it a 3 because I can see there's ingredients in there. I can see it should have flavor. I don't know where it's at. I'm not sure what went wrong. Maybe this particular batch, maybe this whole experimental line that Adam was hinting at. But I think a 3 is being generous.
Wow.
Wowee.
I'll go next, since I think I'm probably going to be the most positive rating. As for me, like I said, I think this is going to be a first stop for me because on the one hand, I hate the bottle. I absolutely do not agree that this is Jamaican jerk. I don't think this is what it is at all. I think it's closer to a General Tso's, and it's a particularly watery General Tso's at that. That being said, I did think the flavors in it were not bad. I would have more of this, especially on the chicken nuggets. I thought it was actually pretty good. My initial impressions were good on it, but I knew the second it hit my mouth that it wasn't Jamaican jerk. And I was a little suspicious just by looking at it initially that it wasn't going to be. So I may have made up my mind a little bit before tasting it, but all that being said, I do think it was decent. I'm going to give it a 6.5. Yeah, I would happily eat more of this. I would probably eat the majority of the bottle if I was having like some chicken nuggets for dinner for a week. I would definitely,
I'd have ketchup over this, without a doubt.
Me too.
I thought about that. I was using ketchup as our rating for our 5, and I was thinking, I like ketchup, but if I got this and I had some chicken nuggets, I would probably give this a shot for like a week over some ketchup. I think so. So I think a 6.5 is pretty fair.
The sauce, if I had gotten this and I had this, like, I had to use the sauce, it would become a brain burner of me trying to figure out what the hell to do with it.
You got to marinate shit 2 days in advance.
Right? Yeah. I had.
You need to clear your schedule to do marinate.
Maybe I'd marinate it 3 days to see if it got some flavor in there. I don't know.
This is interesting because almost always when we do the show, Tori and I are in alignment.
Yeah, almost always.
On less frequent occasions, especially when a hot sauce is involved, you and I are in alignment, Eric.
But hardly ever, Tori and I.
Me and you.
I almost never can remember a single scenario where you guys are in alignment.
Except for this latest episode when we were talking about the walnut and fig, or fig and walnut, when we both agreed that it was way better than any old, what's that nasty cookie? Newtons. Ugh, Fig Newtons.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
we
yeah.
In full agreement with that.
See, yeah, we're just getting revved up for the agreement.
I think you guys are incorrect about that because Fig Newtons are good. And that stuff does taste like them.
Ew.
The filling, at least.
So much better.
Without any further ado, Tori, why don't you hit us with your thoughts here? Your rating.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit nicer than E, not by much. But yeah, it was like a flash in your pan. That's probably why they give you a 2-day run-up time to marinate something, because it just disappears so quickly and it's not as advertised. It sounds like a bad interpretation of a sauce that got lost in translation, if that makes sense.
Could that be translation from Chinese to Jamaican?
Yeah. And then the interpretation of what Americans like of that. So you're sort of taking a bastardization of a bastardization until you get this. And yeah, so this is going to be a 4 for me. Yeah, ketchup would be prior to this. And that's not saying a lot. But yeah, it's a 4.
I was actually really tempted to give this a 7. I really don't think, because of when you're that off the mark, I really struggle to give you any higher than, a 6.5. Like getting into 7 territory is like dangerously close to good.
Right, and not good.
Yeah, and while I enjoyed this, I didn't care for the experience. Like if I had bought this as a Jamaican jerk sauce, I would have been upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's like disappointing from that regard.
Yeah, I really wanted to like it. I know Amy, gets a real big kick out of Jamaican jerk stuff. I know she looks forward, to that type of food. But sadly, I don't know. I mean, she's more than welcome to give it a spin, but
I don't think she'll like it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No, I don't think she'll like it.
And I do think it bears mentioning that a lot of the sauces, I feel like we try them on chicken nuggets, and we're not really doing them justice by trying them with chicken nuggets, because I think they're capable of higher purposes than that. This is an exception to that. I believe that this sauce is well suited for chicken nuggets. I wouldn't use it on anything above that. So while I enjoyed it, some of the other recipes they gave, no. I'm not going to marinate stuff in it for 2 days. I'm not going to do shrimp on the Barbie with it. Like it's, to me, that's I don't think it would make a good basting sauce on a grill. It's got too much sugar. You're just going to have crispy, burnt, caramelized, high fructose corn syrup on the outside. 2 days to marinate it. I fear that if you marinated something in this for 2 days, it would just taste like, sweet chicken or sweet pork, and you wouldn't get a lot of the other flavors going on there because they're so subtle to begin with.
Yeah, right.
They are subtle.
And all the stuff on the outside, the actual little flakes that are giving it the flavor I feel like they would just, wash right off. So. Yeah,
real tragedy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you could take the sauce and marinate it in garlic and hot peppers and whatever else, try and turn it into something that has flavor.
I don't know why you always
take the sauce and.
Why do you always try to salvage sauces by recreating them?
Right, but this truly need that. It would need completely rebuilt. And even then, I think it just has too much.
We can rebuild him.
Right. I love the challenge. I love the idea of a challenge, the challenge behind that, I guess. But
no, at my point, if it's not what you wanted, throw it out and get what you wanted. That's my thing. You're always I can salvage this. It does bear mentioning, how much did you pay for this tour?
I think it was $3.
All right, that tracks. I think I found it on Walmart for $2 online, and sadly, if you want to get through Amazon, you can only get a 2-pack, and it's $30.
Ooh, what?
Yeah.
Whoa. 10 gallons worth? I mean,
no, 2 of those bottles.
Oh, girl.
I can only imagine some of the negative reviews on that.
Oh, dear. I could see this being something that people would like, though. If you're not big into spice and you wanted something really sweet, you are that stereotypical American that doesn't like a lot of flavor and just sweet things.
That's me.
You might like it. No, I think it may have a market in those. If you're not a particularly adventurous eater and you wanted to throw something on there that was called Jamaican jerk and you just wanted to be able to check that off your list, sure.
But it does them a disservice when they think oh, maybe I like Jamaican jerk, and then they go to a restaurant and order Jamaican jerk, and suddenly they're crying because they're oh my god, this is so flavorful and so spicy, and I'm dying.
This isn't at all the high fructose corn syrup in a bottle.
Exactly. Yeah.
I should also, I'm not going to, but I should also give them a deduction for their ridiculous lid design because
that is stupid, isn't it?
It's way too fast to pour out of. It's bigger than an orange juice container pour spout. What are you doing? Why? Why do you need that much of it all of a sudden?
Yeah, maybe if you are marinated, you are just
dumping that bottle, yeah.
Yeah, but I really don't think it'd be effective as a marinade. I do think it's much better as a dipping sauce.
Right.
I don't know. It's just a miss.
This seems like if Applebee's was trying out a new wing flavor, this would be one of the wing flavors.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, this is definitely an Applebee's level sauce.
So what I'm dying to know, and forgive me if you already unleashed it, but what was the soft-spoken first of its kind?
Oh, the fact that I liked it and I thought it was decent, but it was also a shitty in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It just seemed like shitty low effort labeling. The branding is kind of off par. The bottle's not a great design. It's definitely not what they're saying it is, but I kind of liked it, which I think is rare.
Despite all that.
Yeah. So the first 2 ingredients being water and high fructose corn syrup probably make up 3/4 of the bottle. And
yeah.
He still liked it.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's not often that I find something that's this inauthentic and this insincere and honestly kind of condescending towards Americans. But I actually kind of liked it. So
it's literally right on their brand, their logo. It's World Harbor's authentic flavor. It's just not.
Well, you can put whatever you want on a bottle.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's no hard and fast rules
especially
there.
if you're coming out of China. But with all that being said, I think that's going to do it for us this week for the World Harbor's quote-unquote Jamaican-style jerk sauce and marinade. With all that being said,
closing thoughts.
It's time for dating advice with Eric. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Let's see. I think I'm tying.
What have you got for us, Eric?
I can tie in this sauce into some dating advice.
What is an appropriate date to get sucked off by your new girlfriend?
You are not keeping that.
I mean, the sauce sucked off her fingers, Eric.
Wow.
The Jamaican jerk sauce, maybe.
So as
when's
the
she
sauce
going to give you the Jamaican
tries
jerk?
to claim, as the sauce tries to claim authentic flavor, be genuine, be authentic, and
that's not dating advice.
And be a good person, because you don't really want to be a jerk. You don't want to be anything like my fellow co-host here, who constantly tests my patience, and I sometimes wonder why I'm friends with him. But It's okay.
Wow.
Sometimes.
I test Eric's patience. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna jump out of my skin.
I think you get an awful lot of bang for your buck for the mild annoyance that I bring you, Eric, which is essentially light teasing. I think you get a pretty good bang for your buck out of that arduous journey I put you through.
So be authentic, be real, be genuine, and be a good person.
How does that tie into
that sounds like I'm pulling away from Tori's touching thoughts.
You always caught my bit. That's okay.
Let's go back and talk about Eric's dating tips. Tell us some other dating advice.
I have zero advice when it comes to dating, and I have no intention of even trying to say that I do.
That's not what you were saying before the show. You're rattling all kinds of high-minded stuff off.
High-minded.
And now it's time for Touching Thoughts with Tori.
I love that intro. I love it. That is so nice. Woo! Okay. Settle down. All right. So I want to ask everybody today, and I think it's interesting to think about, what are you loyal to? What do you consider yourself loyal to? And you got to be honest with yourself. Good and bad, because we all got it. I'm not pointing any fingers, nothing like that. But I think it's important to examine the type of things you're loyal to, the types of things you show up for repeatedly, again, good or bad, Yeah, and, take a mental inventory of that, because it may be doing you a little bit more harm than good. And we only want to see good things because we love you and we are proud of you. And that'll do it for me. And I can't wait until next week.
Why? What's next week?
I just can't wait. I love coming here. I love yakking. All I do is laugh and cackle like a hen. It's terrific. So yeah, I can't wait.
Nice.
Cool. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you guys all so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Oh no, it's the end of the show. Thank goodness there's several other episodes waiting just for you. Check out our Instagram. We like to have some fun over there. We post the sauce bottle pics if you're curious, and the occasional meme. That's going to be Sauce Spoken official. Despite our humble nature, we are accepting donations, believe it or not. Look us up on PayPal. That's going to be @SauceSpoken. Hey, and if you like what you hear, grease those palms, babe. Lastly, roll up your sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty. It's saucespoken.wordpress.com. We have show notes and details. Check it out. Share us with a family member or a friend. If you're enjoying it, I'm certain they will too. Good night.